If you're holding 6,217 XRP right now, you're probably asking yourself how much this investment could be worth by 2026. XRP has always been one of the most talked about digital assets in the market because of its speed, efficiency, and strong backing from Ripple Labs. But where does that leave your stack in the next year and a half? In this video, we're going to break down the current price of XRP, calculate exactly what your holdings are worth today, and then look at realistic scenarios for 2026, so you know what kind of upside you might be looking at. But before we continue with the video, I just want to say, if you're looking for a trusted exchange, I personally use BTCC. They've been around for more than 12 years. They're fully licensed, and they offer deep liquidity with super low fees. Right now, you can claim up to $10,055 in deposit bonuses, trade over 300 different cryptos, and even use up to 500x leverage. Best part? No KYC needed. Use the link in the description to sign up and grab your bonus today. So, let's start with the basics. At the time of recording, XRP is trading around $2.40 per coin. Its market capitalization is sitting around $145 billion, based on a circulating supply of just under 60 billion tokens. That means your stack of 6,217 XRP is currently worth about $14,920. That's already a sizable holding in one of the largest digital assets in the world. But the big question is, how much higher it could go by 2026? To figure that out, we need to talk about what drives XRP's price. Unlike many meme coins or speculative tokens, XRP's primary use case is clear: cross-border payments. Ripple, the company behind XRP, has been building partnerships with banks, payment providers, and even central banks to integrate XRP into global financial infrastructure. That's a huge deal because the traditional system for moving money across borders is slow, expensive, and outdated. With RippleNet and on-demand liquidity, XRP has the potential to replace SWIFT in certain corridors, making transactions nearly instant and much cheaper. The more adoption we see from banks and financial institutions, the more demand there could be for XRP in the real world, and that translates to higher prices. Now let's run through some scenarios. If XRP simply holds its current price level around $2.40, your 6,217 tokens would still be worth about $14,920 in 2026. That's the conservative baseline. Essentially no major price movement from here. But if we see moderate growth, with XRP moving to $3.40, which is a target projected by some analysts for the midterm, then your holdings would rise to just over $21,100. That's not life-changing, but it's still a nice return in less than 2 years. What if XRP breaks past the $3 to $4 range and moves into a strong bullish scenario? At $5 per token, your 6,217 XRP would be worth over $31,000. That's nearly double your current value, and it's a number that a lot of traders see as realistic if Ripple continues to win adoption cases and if broader crypto markets rally. At $7 per coin, which is the higher end of what many optimistic analysts suggest could be possible in the next major bull run, your stack would be worth over $43,500. That's a significant gain, especially if you bought XRP years ago at much lower prices. Now let's stretch the scenario even further. If XRP ever hit $10, which is often talked about as a long-term psychological target in the community, your 6,217 coins would be worth over $62,000. That's more than 4 times the current value of your holdings. And in a truly extreme bull market, if XRP were to somehow reach $18, which is a speculative forecast from some of the more aggressive prediction models, your holdings would skyrocket to over $112,000. That's where the life-changing potential comes in. But it also requires everything to align perfectly, from regulatory clarity to massive adoption by banks and institutions. So are these numbers realistic? To answer that, we need to look at market cap math. Right now, at $2.40, XRP's market cap is around $145 billion. If the price went to $5, the market cap would be about $300 billion. That's high, but not unthinkable in a bull run where money pours into the top projects. At $10, XRP's market cap would be close to $600 billion. That would put it among the most valuable assets in the crypto world. But again, not impossible if adoption continues and institutions embrace it. At $18, though, we're talking about a market cap of over $1 trillion. That's extremely ambitious, and would require XRP to cement itself as a global settlement currency for banks worldwide. It's not impossible, but it's definitely the high end of speculation. Looking back at XRP's history also gives us clues about what could happen in the future. In the 2017 bull run, XRP went from a few cents to over $3.50 at its peak, making it one of the best performing assets of that cycle. Then, in the 2021 run, it climbed back over $1.80, despite the ongoing SEC lawsuit limiting its availability on major U.S. exchanges. That shows us two things. First, XRP has the ability to make massive gains in bull markets. Second, even with legal headwinds, it has remained one of the most traded coins worldwide. If the legal clouds fully clear before 2026, XRP could finally unleash its full potential in a way we haven't seen before. Another point worth considering is Ripple's strategy with central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Ripple has been actively working with several central banks to pilot CBDCs on private versions of the XRP ledger. If these projects succeed and move into production, XRP could benefit indirectly as the technology underpinning large-scale financial systems. That would not only give credibility to Ripple, but also potentially create spillover demand for XRP itself. Adoption is key. Ripple has built partnerships with payment providers across Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East. These are regions where remittance payments are massive and where the inefficiencies of SWIFT are felt the most. If Ripple manages to secure even a small share of the multi-trillion-dollar global remittance market, the demand for XRP could be tremendous. And that demand is not just speculative. It would be driven by real utility, actual transactions, and financial institutions moving billions through RippleNet. Of course, the risks remain. The first and biggest one is regulation. While Ripple has scored partial victories against the SEC, there's always the possibility of new legal challenges or restrictive regulations in other regions. If XRP is labeled a security in too many jurisdictions, it could limit adoption. Competition is another risk. Stablecoins like USDC and USDT are already used for payments globally, and upcoming government-backed CBDCs could eat into the market Ripple is targeting. Then there's technological competition, with other blockchains building fast, low-cost payment solutions. XRP is strong, but it isn't alone in this race. Still, XRP's unique advantage is its track record. It has been around for more than a decade, survived legal battles, market crashes, and multiple crypto cycles. Many newer projects have come and gone, but XRP has stayed in the top 10 by market cap throughout. That kind of resilience shows that it has a foundation strong enough to weather volatility and still remain relevant. So, when we think about your 6,217 XRP, the outlook by 2026 really depends on how much adoption Ripple can secure and how favorable the regulatory landscape becomes. In a conservative case, your holdings could still hover around $14,900 to $21,000. In a strong bullish case, you could be looking at $31,000 to $43,000. If things go very well, with adoption skyrocketing and markets in full bull mode, $62,000 or more is possible. And if everything aligns perfectly, including a $1 trillion market cap, the sky-high $112,000 figure could become reality. To wrap it up, your 6,217 XRP today is worth about $14,920. By 2026, it could remain close to that level, or it could multiply in value depending on market conditions, regulation, and adoption. Whether you're aiming for modest gains or holding out for the extreme bull case, what's clear is that XRP has one of the strongest positions in crypto and continues to be one of the most promising long-term bets in the digital asset space.